Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying this. Success is not a mystery reserved for a select few. It is a discipline, a mindset, and a series of choices that anyone willing to put in the work can adopt. Today, I want to share with you the 10 things successful people never do, because if you want to rise, you have to eliminate what's holding you down. Number 1. Successful people never waste time complaining. Complaining is the enemy of progress. It's easy to point fingers, blame circumstances, or talk about how unfair life is. But successful people understand that their energy is valuable. They focus on solutions, not problems. Number 2, they never procrastinate on their goals. Time waits for no one. If you have a dream, a goal, or a vision, delay is the thief of opportunity. Successful people take immediate action because they know that every moment counts. Number 3, they don't compare their journey to others. Comparison kills confidence and creativity. Successful people run their own race. They understand that what works for someone else may not work for them, and that's okay. Number 4, they never ignore the power of learning. The world is always changing, and successful people never stop growing. They read, they seek mentors, and they embrace new knowledge. Stagnation is the opposite of success. Number 5, they don't avoid responsibility. Successful people own their mistakes and learn from them. They don't play the victim. Accountability is the foundation of growth. Number 6, they never fear failure. Fear of failure paralyzes progress. Successful people know that failure is simply feedback. It's a necessary step on the road to mastery. Number 7, they don't neglect their health. Physical and mental well-being are non-negotiable. Without health, success is unsustainable. Number 8, they never let negativity define them. Negative thoughts, toxic people, and limiting beliefs don't get a seat at their table. Successful people guard their mind space fiercely. Number 9, they don't settle for mediocrity. They push past comfort zones, reject good enough, and strive for excellence in every area of life. They never give up. Persistence is the silent power behind every success story. When the world says no, successful people say, not yet. Success isn't about luck or talent alone, it's about what you decide to stop doing. Remove the habits that hold you back, and you'll create space for the habits that lift you higher. Your breakthrough lies on the other side of what you refuse to do. Now go, take control, and make success inevitable. Success begins with your mindset. Let me tell you something important. Before you ever see the fruits of your labor, before you ever hear the applause or enjoy the rewards, your mind has already decided whether you will succeed or fail. This is not just some feel-good statement, it's the foundation of everything. You see, your thoughts shape your reality. If you believe you're destined to struggle, if you believe the world is against you, then your actions will reflect that belief, and you will create exactly the life you expect. But if you start with the mindset that you are capable, that you deserve success, that you can learn, grow, and overcome, then your world begins to shift. Successful people understand this deeply. They don't just hope things will get better or pray for a lucky break. They develop a mindset of ownership and empowerment. They say, I am responsible for my life. I am the driver of my destiny. This means they stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and start looking at what they can control. This is a powerful shift. Now, this isn't always easy. Life throws curveballs. People will try to discourage you, and your own doubts will sometimes whisper, maybe you're not enough. But successful people fight those whispers every day. They recognize that mindset is not something fixed. It's a muscle you can strengthen with practice. It's about training your mind to focus on what's possible rather than what's probable. Think about it this way. When you wake up each day, you have a choice. You can choose to focus on your limitations, on what's wrong, on the obstacles, or you can choose to focus on opportunities, on solutions, on the next step forward. This choice determines your outcome. Successful people choose the latter. They start their day with affirmations, with goals, with a vision of who they want to become. They invest time in personal development because they know that what you feed your mind grows. If you feed your mind with negativity and doubt, that's what grows. But if you feed it with positivity, knowledge, and faith in yourself, that's what will flourish. Another thing about mindset is that it builds resilience. When setbacks come, and they will come, a strong mindset keeps you moving forward. It says, "This is a challenge, not a defeat. I will learn from this and come back stronger." This kind of mental toughness is what separates the successful from those who give up. And don't get it twisted, mind. It is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real problems. It's about acknowledging reality and choosing the empowering response. It's about taking control of your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts control you. One of the best ways to build this mindset is through discipline. Successful people show up every day even when they don't feel like it. They understand that feelings are temporary, but habits create lasting change. You must build the habit of positive, proactive thinking. This might mean surrounding yourself with the right people, reading the right books, listening to inspiring content, or simply making a daily commitment to believe in your potential. Mindset is the soil in which every seed of success is planted. If you plant seeds in poor soil, don't expect a great harvest. But when your mind is fertile with belief, determination, and focus, the smallest effort can grow into something extraordinary. So if you want to be successful, start with your mindset. Guard it fiercely, feed it daily, and remember, the journey to success begins in your mind before it ever shows up in your life. Motivation is like a spark. It can light a fire, but it often flickers and fades fast. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady flame that keeps that fire burning day after day. If you want lasting success, you must learn to rely not on motivation, but on discipline. This is one of the biggest secrets successful people understand and live by every single day. How many times have you felt excited about a new goal? Maybe a fitness plan, a business idea, or a personal project. You're fired up, ready to go, and then a few days or weeks later, the excitement wears off. The initial burst of motivation fizzles, and suddenly, keeping up with what you started feels like a struggle. That's normal. Motivation is temporary. It depends on your feelings, which can change by the minute. But discipline doesn't depend on feelings. It's a commitment you make to yourself, a decision that you will keep going no matter what. When motivation fades, and it will, discipline is what carries you forward. Successful people don't wait to feel like it. They don't say, "I'll do it when I'm inspired." No, they show up, they put in the work, whether they feel good or not. That's what separates those who achieve from those who don't. Discipline is a muscle. It gets stronger every time you use it. Just like lifting weights builds physical strength, making a habit of doing what's necessary, even when it's hard, builds mental strength. Over time, you create routines that become automatic. You don't have to rely on motivation because you've trained yourself to act consistently. Another important point is that discipline protects your dreams from distractions and temptations. The world is full of things trying to pull you off course. Social media, negativity, comfort zones, instant gratification. Motivation alone won't help you resist these because motivation is based on emotion, which can be easily swayed. But discipline is rooted in purpose. It's the inner voice that says, "No, this isn't the time to quit. Keep pushing." Successful people know that motivation is the starting gun, but discipline is the race itself. You may have a great idea or vision, but if you don't have the discipline to execute day in and day out, that vision will never come to life. It's in the daily grind, the consistent, sometimes boring work, that success is forged. And here's a truth that's hard for many to accept. Discipline often means doing what others aren't willing to do. It means sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term gain. It means waking up early when others sleep in, studying when others relax, working when others party. This is the path of discipline, and it's not always popular, but it's the path that leads to greatness. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you can be trusted with your own goal. This trust in yourself creates momentum. The more disciplined actions you take, the easier it becomes to stay on track. One practical way to cultivate discipline is to create systems and habits that reduce the need for motivation. For example, successful people set schedules, plan their days, and remove distractions. They make success easier by designing their environment to support their goals. Discipline is not just about willpower, it's about smart preparation. Discipline is not punishment, it's a form of self-respect. It's showing up for yourself because you believe in your own potential and you refuse to settle for less. When you choose discipline over motivation, you build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake your progress. So, if you want to be successful, stop waiting to feel motivated, build discipline instead, train yourself to work hard, stay focused, and keep moving forward even on the days you don't feel like it. This is the key that unlocks lasting achievement. One of the greatest lessons successful people learn early on is this: you cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond. This simple truth is powerful because it frees you from wasting time, energy, and emotion on things that don't move you forward. Instead, it teaches you to focus like a laser on what is within your power, and that focus is what separates the successful from the overwhelmed. How much energy do you spend worrying about things outside your control? Maybe it's the economy, other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, or the weather. When you fixate on these external factors, you become a victim of circumstance. You give away your power, your mind becomes cluttered with distractions and fears, and your productivity stalls. The truth is, you'll never get ahead if you're caught up in things you can't influence. Successful people flip the script. They practice what I call the circle of control. They make a clear distinction between what they can control, what they can influence, and what they have no control over at all. Their attention, effort, and emotions stay inside that inner circle of control. This is where their power lies. You can't control whether you get a no from a client or whether someone says something negative about you. But you can control your preparation, your attitude, your response, and your next move. You can control how much effort you put into learning, growing, and improving. Successful people know this, so they put their energy where it counts, into actions and mindsets that produce results. By focusing on what you control, you also protect yourself from burnout and frustration. When you obsess over things you can't change, you drain yourself emotionally. You feel helpless and stuck. But when you take charge of your own actions and choices, you reclaim your power. You feel energized, capable, and motivated to keep pushing forward. Another powerful benefit is that focusing on what you control builds resilience. Life will throw curveballs, that's guaranteed. But when your focus is on your effort, your attitude, and your discipline, setbacks become manageable. They become temporary obstacles instead of roadblocks. You bounce back faster because you know your success is tied not to external conditions but to your response. This mindset also helps you develop clarity and precision in your goals. When you know what's within your control, you can make clear plans and take deliberate steps. You stop spinning your wheels chasing after things that don't move the needle. Successful people constantly ask themselves, is this something I can control or influence? If not, I'm not wasting my energy here. This doesn't mean ignoring external realities or pretending challenges don't exist. It means accepting reality as it is and then focusing on what you can do. It's the difference between being proactive and reactive. Proactive people make things happen by focusing on their sphere of control. Reactive people let circumstances dictate their emotions and actions, and here's the secret sauce. When you consistently invest your time and energy in what you can control, you create momentum. Every small positive action compounds. Every decision you make to focus inward builds your confidence and competence. Over time, this momentum turns into breakthroughs. Successful people also surround themselves with others who understand and respect this principle. They build relationships and environments that reinforce focusing on the controllable. They don't get caught up in gossip, drama, or negativity because they know those things are distractions from their purpose. In practical terms, this means developing habits like setting daily priorities, practicing mindfulness to catch yourself when your mind wanders to what you can't control, and learning to say no to distractions. It means reminding yourself that your power lies in your own actions and decisions. The path to success is not about controlling the uncontrollable. It's about mastering your own mind and actions. The more you focus on what you can control, the more productive, confident, and effective you become. Your results will improve, your stress will lessen, and your progress will accelerate. So today, make a commitment to yourself. Stop wasting time on what you can't change. Invest your time, energy, and emotions in what you can control. Because when you do, you unlock a power within that nothing and no one can take away. Failure. It's a word that makes many people cringe. It's often viewed as something to avoid at all costs, a sign that you're not good enough or that you're destined to lose. But let me tell you something powerful. Failure is not your enemy. In fact, failure is one of the greatest teachers you will ever have on your journey to success. Successful people understand this truth better than anyone else. They know that failure is not a permanent state. It's not the end of the road, it's simply feedback. It's a signal telling you what doesn't work so you can adjust, grow, and move closer to what does. Every setback, every mistake, every no is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Think about some of the most successful people in history: Thomas Edison, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan. Each of them faced failures that could have stopped them cold. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 ways that won't work." That mindset, the mindset of seeing failure as part of the process, is what separates winners from quitters. Here's where many people get stuck. They fear failure so much that they never even try. They avoid risk, avoid challenges, and stay stuck in comfort zones. But successful people don't let fear of failure paralyze them. Instead, they embrace failure as a necessary part of growth. They understand that without failure, there is no progress. Failure teaches you lessons that success never can. When things don't go as planned, you gain clarity about your weaknesses, your blind spots, and the gaps you need to fill. It pushes you to innovate, to try new strategies, and to improve. Each failure makes you wiser, stronger, and better prepared for the next challenge. Successful people don't just experience failure. They analyze it. They reflect on what went wrong, what they can learn, and how to change their approach. This reflection turns failure into a powerful learning experience. It's a practice of continuous improvement that leads to mastery. Another crucial element is how successful people manage their emotions around failure. They don't let failure define their identity. They don't say, "I failed, so I'm a failure." No, they separate their self-worth from the outcome. They recognize that failure is just a moment in time, not a statement about who they are. This emotional resilience keeps them moving forward. This is why it's so important to cultivate a growth mindset. The belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. With a growth mindset, failure is not a sign of inadequacy, but an opportunity to grow. It makes you curious, not discouraged, and let me be clear, failure can be uncomfortable. It can sting, bruise your ego, and test your resolve. But successful people don't avoid discomfort. They lean into it because they know that's where real growth happens. They develop mental toughness by facing failure head-on and refusing to quit. Failure also teaches humility and patience. It reminds you that success is rarely overnight. It's a journey full of ups and downs. When you accept this reality, you build the endurance to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. In practical terms, learning from failure means creating a system of feedback and adjustment. It means asking yourself honest questions like, what can I do differently? What did I miss? How can I improve? It means seeking feedback from mentors, peers, and even critics. It means being willing to pivot and adapt when necessary. Every successful person you admire has failed, often more times than you can count. Their secret is not that they never failed, but that they never gave up. They took their failures, learned from them, and kept moving forward with more wisdom and determination. So if you want to succeed, stop fearing failure. Start embracing it. See it as your teacher, your guide, your stepping stone. When you do this, failure loses its power to stop you and becomes the fuel that propels you toward your greatest achievement. In the journey to success, many people make a critical mistake. They believe that success comes from short bursts of intense effort. They think that working harder for a few days or weeks is enough to reach their goals. But let me tell you, success is not built on intensity alone. It's built on consistency. That's right. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Think about a runner training for a marathon. It's not the day they run 20 miles at a breakneck pace that matters most. It's the days, weeks, and months they show up and run their scheduled miles, even when they don't feel like it. That steady, dependable effort compounds. It builds endurance, strength, and momentum. In the same way, your efforts in business, education, or personal growth must be steady and persistent. Why does consistency matter so much? Because real progress is rarely instantaneous. It's the small, repeated actions over time that create the big results. You might not see dramatic change after one day or 1 week of hard work. But when you consistently put in effort day after day, you build habits, skills, and momentum that grow exponentially. That's the power of compounding. Now, intensity has its place. It can help you break through plateaus or ignite a new project. But it is not sustainable long term. When people rely on motivation-fueled intensity, they often burn out quickly. They start strong, but then the effort wanes because intense energy bursts are hard to maintain. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't demand extreme energy all the time. It's about showing up regularly, doing what's necessary, even on the days when you feel tired or discouraged. Successful people understand this principle deeply. They don't wait for inspiration or excitement to strike. They develop daily routines and systems that keep them moving forward no matter what. They create schedules, set clear priorities, and build accountability structures to ensure they stay consistent. Another important truth is that consistency builds trust with yourself and with others. When you consistently meet your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. That builds confidence and self-respect. Others see this reliability too, and it creates opportunities and partnerships. Consistency is a sign of professionalism and integrity. On the flip side, inconsistency breeds doubt and disappointment. If you start strong but don't follow through, you lose momentum and motivation. You can't build on a shaky foundation. Successful people avoid this trap by being consistent in their habits, efforts, and attitudes. Consistency also helps you overcome obstacles and setbacks. When challenges arise, the habit of steady effort keeps you anchored. You don't quit because you've developed the discipline to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow or invisible. Now, how do you build consistency? It starts with commitment, a decision that your goal is important enough to show up for every day. Then it requires planning. Break your big goals into smaller, manageable tasks that you can do daily or weekly. Make your actions non-negotiable. Another key is to track your progress. When you see that you've been consistent, even for a few days or weeks, it motivates you to keep going. Use journals, apps, or simple checklists. Celebrate small wins because they are the building blocks of bigger victories. And don't forget to be patient with yourself. Consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days you stumble, but what matters is getting back on track quickly. Successful people know that slipping up doesn't mean failure. It's just part of the process. Intensity might get you started, but consistency is what finishes the race. It's the steady, committed actions repeated over time that build success. So stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect burst of energy. Start showing up consistently, build your habits, trust the process, and watch how your life transforms. As we wrap up, remember this: success is not a matter of luck or talent alone. It's a result of the choices you make every single day. The things successful people never do aren't just rules. They are principles rooted in mindset, discipline, focus, resilience, and consistency. They don't let fear or failure stop them. They don't wait for motivation to show up. They control their focus and energy. They learn from every setback, and above all, they commit to showing up consistently, day after day. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. So I challenge you today. Take these truths and make them your own. Guard your mindset, build your discipline, focus on what you can control, embrace failure as a teacher, and commit to consistency no matter what. When you live by these principles, you don't just chase success, you become it. Your future is shaped by what you do right now. Decide today that you will never do what holds you back. Decide today that you will do what moves you forward. And when you do, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you.